It is Tuesday, the 21st day of February 2023. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. We have plenty more lined up for you on this bulletin tonight, so sit back, relax, and let us get you in the know. Let us kick off. The Public Service Commission, PSC, has shortlisted 224 candidates for the position of Chief Administrative Secretary, CAS. The list was culled from a pool of over 600 applicants, with those chosen expected to appear for interviews beginning March 1st, 2023. If successful, President William Ruto will appoint them to the positions that were finally approved by the courts. And as Dolly Murigi Mbuvi now reports, up to 8 former county governors have made the cut.
Former governors are among the 224 shortlisted by Public Service Commission PSC for Chief Administrative Secretary CAS position. Evans Kidero vied for Homa Bay gubernatorial seat but lost to ODM's Gladys Wanga, former Kisii Governor James Ongwae, Samuel Tunai, who lost to ODM's Ledama Olekina, former Samburu Governor Moses Lendol Kulal, former Taita Taveta Governor John Rutu, former Trans Nzoia Governor Patrick Aemba, and former Tana River Governor Hussein Dado made it on the list. The list also has several politicians who lost in the last elections, among them former Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, former Secretary General of NAT Wilson Sossion, former nominated Senator Millicent Omanga, former woman representative for Kirinyaga County Purity Ngirishi, former Soy MP Caleb Kositani, and former Housing Assistant Minister and Sarai Member of Parliament Bishop Margaret Njiru. President Ruto's digital strategist Dennis Itumbi was recently appointed to Talanta Hela Council, and media personality Boni Musambi, Mwanesha Chizuga, and Linda Ugutu are also on the list. The commission indicated that it had received 5,000 applications. According to the PSC, the interviews will begin on March 1st. Kenyans have been asked to submit petitions on those shortlisted by Tuesday next week. Candidates are expected to bring to the interviews a written certificate, clearance certificate from Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, Higher Education Loan Board, HELB, a registered credit reference bureau, a police clearance certificate, as well as self-declaration form signed by the EACC. However, the CS nominees list has sparked mixed reactions in the country, with various Kenyans sharing their views on the shortlist. City lawyer Ahmed Nasir Abdullah in a tweet criticized the list for being full of familiar faces from the past regime. Dolly Murigi for Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Now, immediate former Christ is the Answer Ministries CITAM presiding Bishop Emeritus Reverend Dr. David Oginde, is among the 14 candidates who have been shortlisted for the position of chairperson of the Ethics and AntiCorruption Commission, EACC, in Kenya. Bishop Oginde has been shortlisted by the Public Service Commission, PSC, alongside former Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana, former IEBC Commissioner Thomas Letangule, and renowned lawyer Charles Kanjama. Grace Ahati has the details.
The process of succeeding the former Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC chairperson, Eliud Wabukala, has begun following the shortlisting of 14 candidates by the Public Service Commission PSC. In a list published by PSC, the position had attracted 82 applications, which were narrowed down to the 14. Notable names in the list include immediate former CITAM presiding Bishop Emeritus Reverend Dr. David Oginde, who is the current chairman of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, EAK, former Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana, former IEBC Commissioner Thomas Letangule, and renowned lawyer Charles Kanjama have also been shortlisted. The other candidates are Kaberia Isaac Kubai and Eliud Wanjaongige, among others. For the interview, the shortlisted candidates have been advised to carry with them their academic documents and other clearance certificates from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI and Kenya Revenue Authority KRA, among others. The successful candidate will take over from Bishop Emeritus Eliud Wabukala, who left the commission that is mandated to combat and prevent corruption, economic crime, and unethical conduct upon the expiry of his term on January 17, 2023. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace Ahati. Now, comedian Erick Omondi has today been arrested while attempting to storm Parliament buildings after staging a demonstration. Omondi, who was accompanied by other demonstrators stripped of their shirts, sat outside Parliament roads to protest the high cost of living as they called on the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula to come and address them. Police later on descended on them with tear gas, arresting Omondi and other demonstrators where they were taken to Nairobi Central Police Station. Now, Kenya will continue to offer a robust and conducive environment to trade and invest. According to President William Ruto, the country has an open, liberal and business-friendly regulatory regime underpinned by a strong reputation for the rule of law. Speaking this morning while meeting 500 EU delegates during the European Union Kenya Business Forum, alongside Trade Minister Moses Kuria, the president has said that the lack of red tape has made the country a predictable investment destination and one of the easiest markets to set up, scale and grow business. The head of state has challenged the EU investors to invest in green manufacturing to avoid pollution, adding that the government is keen to offer a ready space for it.
Kenya alone is an economy of around 55 million people who consume plenty of products from the EU. We remain uniquely geostrategic as the gateway to the East and Central Africa and are a central player in 3 overlapping regional economic communities: the East African Community, the Common Markets for East and Southern Africa, and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Humanity is at a crossroads. Business is at a crossroads. Investment is at a crossroads. Do we continue the coal-fired, fuel-powered growth that has brought us where we are today with the kind of weather and climate change situation that we face, or we take a new trajectory on the path on green growth? That is the option humanity is faced with today. And as business leaders, it is important for you to analyze where the future is. Is the future in coal-powered growth, or is the future in green growth? I think the choice is rather obvious.
The Children's Office in Morocco County has arrested a 35-year-old man who married a 17-year-old girl in a colorful traditional wedding at Naikara area in Narok West Sub-County. The man was arrested few hours after the wedding when he posted his wedding photos on his Facebook page, raising questions among the members of the public on the age of the little girl. Narok County Children Director Pilot Haemba said this prompted his officers to work with the area chief and police to arrest the culprit. He is being held at the Molut police station. The girl was taken to Ololulunga Sub-County Hospital for medical checkup, where she was confirmed to have been defiled. The girl is expected to be taken to a children's home where she will be enrolled back to school as the suitor battles the case in court. Haemba reminded the members of the public that marrying a girl below 18 years is a crime and would attract a hefty punishment.
Huyu ni mtoto ambaye amewekwa kwa ndoa kwa mipango ya wazazi juzi, karibu wiki mbili ambaye imepita, kwa sababu mama yake aliaga juzi na ndugu yake na baba yake wakapanga kumwoza ili wajiondolee kwa mzigo ya kumlea. Na hata kabla ya hiyo ni mtoto ambaye alikuwa ametolewa shule akiwa class 4 kwa shule yenye alikuwa huko kwao. So wazazi kwanza walimtoa shule na ndio sasa kumaanisha walikuwa na mpango ya kumuoza. Ndio maana hawakutaka aendelee na mambo ya shule. So tulifaulu hiyo kufanya, na ningependa kushukuru police, National Police Service, hasa Kopro wa Naikara ambaye tulishirikiana na yeye na maofisa wake, wakaenda usiku na wakaweza kufanya hiyo operation, waka rescue mtoto na wakashika yule mtu wakiwa kwa nyumba, yule mwenye alikuwa amemuoa.
And Interior Ministry Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo says this year's Madaraka Day celebrations will no longer be held at Njukini grounds in Embu County as earlier announced, but will be moved to Moi Stadium in the same county. Renovations of Embu Stadium has kicked off in earnest, with works expected to be completed in a month and a half time. Speaking during a tour at the stadium, Interior Principal Secretary asked the contractor to hasten works to ensure the stadium is delivered within the stipulated time. The PS, who is also the chairman of the National Celebrations Committee, further said that the government had also changed the celebrations theme from affordable healthcare to a focus on SMEs.
The contractor has also confirmed that they'll be picking people as the need arises and as they move on, and that 95% of the staff will actually be our own locals here in Embu County. And we can only now say that now it's all systems go properly for this stadium that must be ready by 1st of June 2023.
The team that is being supervised by the KDF would be able to give us the stadium ready for the celebrations a month to the time the celebrations will be happening. So already there's a lot of work that is going on. As Governor has indicated, the workshop where they're doing the precast is at the Njukiri showground, and already if you look across, there's already work that has begun, and we expect that within the next 45 days the structure will be up and the rest of the amenities would have been put together.
Hatutaki siasa kwa hii maendeleo, na nataka kuambia wale watu wanaweza jaribu kuleta siasa. Hii maendeleo si ya Mkunji, si ya governor, si ya mtu yoyote. Hii maendeleo ni ya wananchi wa Embu. Kwa hivyo mtu yote anaweza jaribu kuleta siasa ndio hii maendeleo isikuje kwa wingi. Mimi wa kwanza nitadili na yeye kwanza, then tutaongea hapo governor pia deal na yeye.
Let us now take a short commercial break. We will be back with a special feature among other stories.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
Welcome back. Taking care of the elderly can be a grueling task. As many middle-aged persons get jobs and others start their lives, many find themselves getting busy by the day. On the other hand, those aged 70 years and above find themselves stuck at home after their retirement. It gets even worse if the aged person never kept some finances aside for their retirement and their children are not able to take care of them due to one reason or another. This is when the option of retiring in a home for the aged comes in. And as Faith Manimogo now reports, caregivers of the aged, whether at their own home or in the special homes for the elderly, need to be caring, patient, and intentional in taking care of their clients.
Kenya has about 1.5 million people aged 70 years and above. The number is expected to rise to 2.5 million in the next 10 years. The population shows the need to invest more in retirement. For the already aged persons who were not able to save up for their retirement, they too need extra intentional care. At the Presbyterian Old Age Home in Thogoto, we were welcomed by a number of elderly men and women singing in jubilation, an indication of peace and serenity.
The people here are so full of joy, and these residents here are, they needed a place to go. They are from places where maybe they had no one to take care of them.
Kiona nafasi ya kukuja hapa kwa home for the aged ndio mzuri kwa sababu wanakaa wengi, wanazungumza, hana stress, kupikiwa, kuvalishwa, hata kuoshwa. Hapa ni pazuri, ni pahali pazuri.
According to the director of the home, which is managed by the Presbyterian Church Women's Guild, caring for the aged calls for patience and a heart to serve.
You have to have a big heart. And even them, they looked after us. You will find a parent who was having 9 kids. And the 9 kids are not able to look after one parent, which is very, very bad.
Si kazi rahisi ya kuangalia hawa ni kazi ngumu kwa sababu wakiseeka ni kama watoto.
She says taking care of the elderly carries with it a blessing, as it reaches a place when the older they become, the less likely they are capable of taking care of themselves.
You cannot give service to an old person who is 80 years for 80 years. But you'll give service maybe 2 years, 3 years, which is full of blessings. You can't serve her the 80 she has lived. And the things you are doing for her, she used to do for herself. It's only that because she has aged. Let our parent age gracefully.
Many old-aged people find themselves lonely at home after their children are grown and have left the nest to make their own homes.
We have 50 old people, 27 men and 23 ladies. When they come here, we have to open a file and put an admission letter, and we put a next of kin whom we can call if anything happens.
Interestingly, some old-aged persons seem to prefer the homes for the aged better than their own homes in the villages.
I like the place because if at all you follow the regulations of this place, no one will disturb you. But now as I was in a home, I could be drunken.
Sioni ubaya wa hapa, ni kwa sababu tunakula, tunapewa kila kitu tunataka. Ile Mungu anampea, anatupea. Tunapenda wageni sana. Tunaona kama tunapendwa.
Caregivers have this advice for the families with elderly persons.
Let us, all of us, give them love. They just need love, peace. They need somebody to listen to them. Let not us be so busy not to find time for our parent. one day they'll be gone and they'll be missing, or we'll be asking and we'll be wishing that they are alive.
I would tell the community that they are your elders and they are wise and they deserve to be cared for, and that the community can help. The community can pray for them. The community can bring them food. This place they function on donations.
Don't forget the elderly. If you go to Nairobi, come back and visit your village and your parents every quarter. Make sure that they have the food they need. Supply them with food and money.
In Kenya, there are two categories of old people's homes. Those who are free of charge for the occupants, while others are paid for. The government of Kenya started a program to cater for the needy elderly persons. The Older Persons Cash Transfer or PCT program, as it is officially referred to as Pesa ya Wazee by layman, was started in 2007. The program focuses on providing cash transfers to the poor households who have at least one member above the age of 65 years. Currently, those over 70 years of age receive a stipend of 2,000 Kenya shillings a month. This may not be adequate, but is certainly a move in the right direction.
They didn't consider our home. They said they are lucky, they have a sponsor, they have a woman's gift. They were not registered. They were not registered, and others would argue in their office, not unless they go back to where they came from. And others would say, we better die. It's better stay. The 2,000, it better stay, because wherever I came from, it was not all that good. So I don't want to go back. So they were not registered. But the ones whom we are admitting right now, following months and these years, they come with the Inua Jamii. They come with it here. But when they get money, it's theirs. And we were cautioned that it is their money. They do it, they do what they want with it. So they cannot support the home.
Values on the care of the elderly in a family are changing in Kenya, with more households focusing on the nuclear family, leading to neglect of the elderly.
There are families who come to seek admission here, but we refer them to private places. You see, when we admit them, and this one is for free, we will deny them their responsibility. They have to take care of their mothers and dads. And if they are not, they are busy, because our generation, they are so busy nowadays. They are so busy. And then our generation and young mothers were able to have 2 kids, 3 kids, and their 3 kids are deciding to reside outside the country. Reside outside the country, they leave their mother to suffer here.
Taking care of the aged is one of the most noble things a society can do. Here in this home, about 50 parents are taken care of. Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Faith Imani Mugo, for that special feature. Now moving on, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has arrived in Abuja, Nigeria, ahead of the country's general elections set for this Saturday, the 25th of February, as Nigerians elect the President, Vice President, and members of the Senate and House of Representatives. The African Union AU appointed the former president to lead the recently launched African Union Election Observation Mission to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The mission draws its mandate from various AU instruments and will be supported by experts from the African Union Commission, AUC. The African Union Election Observation Mission, which comprises of 90 members drawn from various AU member states, will, among other tasks, engage different stakeholders as well as observe and provide an accurate and impartial assessment of the electoral process in Africa's most populous country. Nigerians will head to the polls in a fiercely contested presidential vote that analysts say is too close to call. 18 candidates are in the running for Nigeria's highest office, but opinion polls suggest 3 are leading the race for the popular vote. One of the key contenders is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the candidate of Buhari's party, the All Progressive Congress APC. Another is the main opposition leader and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party PDP, and Peter Obi, who is running under less popular Labour Party. Now, the Director of Public Prosecution, Nurdin Haji, and the Attorney General at the Court of Cassation of the Kingdom of Morocco, who is also the President of the Public Prosecutor's Office, Dr. Mole Hassan Daki, have signed a Memorandum of Understanding in Nairobi. The MOU seeks to establish and strengthen cooperation in the field of prosecution and in the fight against transnational organized crime.
We've had an MOU that we've signed together jointly to cooperate on a number of areas, especially issues of organized crime, terrorism and cybercrime, that we hope to be able to work together and further the cooperation between African countries. And that's why we're here today. This is a follow-up of the African Prosecutor Association's meeting that we had in Mombasa.
And about 40,000 nursery school children in Moranga County Public Schools will receive a free cup of porridge daily. In conjunction with Food for Education organization in the county of Moranga, Governor Uhuru Kenyatta said that the porridge will benefit the children by meeting their nutritional needs. Speaking during the launch of nursery schools in Kiriani Mathioya constituency, Kenyatta said that the county has set aside funds for the porridge program at 10 a.m. in 700 schools.
Tumekuja kulaunch project ya uji. Tuko na watoto takriban 40,000, yani 40,000 ambao kuanzia leo watakuwa wanakunywa uji bila malipo kutoka kwa County Government of Moranga, na ili watoto waweze kwenda shule wakiwa na good nutrition. Na pili, wazazi hatakuwa nalipa chochote, itakuwa mikononi ya serikali ya county.
Na tunakuja hapa kushuhudia kwamba madarasa yameanza kujengwa na programu ya uji pia imeingia na basari inaendelea.
Tunamshukuru gavana kwa kuleta shule safi, akafanya hata wanafunzi wapende mambo ya masomo.
Let us now cross our borders. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has suspended the country's participation in a major arms control agreement with the United States. New START is the last remaining nuclear arms deal between Moscow and Washington, and it was extended for 5 years in 2021. Speaking at length about Russia's war against Ukraine in a State of the Nation address, Putin blamed the West for provoking the war and escalating it, saying the US and its allies sought limitless power. The speech comes ahead of the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine on Friday. Russia has sustained huge losses in the war, but is expected to launch a new offensive in the spring. And US President Joe Biden is expected to lay out his view of the war in Ukraine as a battle for democracy during a speech in the Polish capital Warsaw, a day after his surprise visit to Ukraine. His speech comes hours after Russia's Vladimir Putin announced Moscow was suspending participation in a key arms control treaty with the US. The leaders' competing speeches come days before the first anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Appearing in a war zone under regular attack, White House officials have described Joe Biden's unexpected visit to Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, as unprecedented in modern times. During the visit, Biden reiterated the United States' support for Ukraine, adding that Putin had been dead wrong to think Russia would outlast Ukraine and its Western allies.
Putin's war of conquest is failing. Russia's military has lost half its territory it once occupied. Young, talented Russians are fleeing by the tens of thousands, not wanting to come back to Russia. He thought he could outlast us. I don't think he's thinking that right now. The cost that Ukraine has had to bear has been extraordinarily high. And the sacrifices have been far too great. They've been met, but they've been far too great.
A celebrated woman is a woman like Lydia. Lydia is described as a seller of purple and a worshipper of God.
Is a woman who walks her faith in the place of work and has relative returns in her business.
In every aspect, she brings profits, she brings gains, able to identify a problem and also identify a solution.
The CITAM Business Forum invites all women in business to a conference dubbed a Celebrated Woman Entrepreneur.
Please book the date. That will be on the 4th of March from 7:30 a.m. at CITAM Karen on Langata Road.
For only 300 shillings, you are welcome to learn from
Flora Mutahi, founder Melvin's Tea.
Lorna Mutegi, founder and CEO.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at business. The European Investment Bank, in partnership with the Trade and Development Bank, has launched a business financing initiative worth $200 million in a bid to support businesses affected by trade disruption, energy shocks, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during the first EU-Kenya Business Forum at a Nairobi hotel, Vice President of the European Investment Bank, Thomas Ostros, said the initiative will enable companies to overcome trade barriers while providing a platform for expansion into new markets and navigating through unprecedented challenges. At the same time, Trade and Investments Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria, while lauding the EIB for the financing initiative, noted that the opportunity opens Kenya to pivotal global partnerships that will help the country move to the upper middle income status.
We also now are looking at providing targeted business support around trade finance, dealing with the challenges that Thomas and others have mentioned this morning around the discontinuities and the challenges in supply chains worldwide, including in Africa. So this is really a much needed facility that will help support Kenya, but also many other African countries in Eastern and Southern Africa to help cope with some of these very difficult challenges being experienced.
The 200 million that we're having today, they should benefit those who need it most, not those who always get the credit. The facility is there to provide, to widen the base of those who can get credit.
The 200 million euros in financing will unlock more than 400 million euros of total business investment. This leveraging is what we are looking for, how we can provide resources that are leveraged into practical investments for entrepreneurs and small and medium-sized businesses across this region.
We are extremely delighted with this development. Our current FDI in Kenya is now in the region of $500 million. I am that unfortunate man who has to raise this to $10 billion by the end of the year. So today, with this signing, I tick off one more box towards that direction, and indeed we are going to see much more development in this particular area as we progress.
The affordable housing segment is proving a popular source for investors seeking regular rental income. This is according to Mivida Homes, a residential developer created through a joint venture between Actis and Shapoorji Pallonji Real Estate, launched in July 2019 to address the shortage of middle-income housing. that families can afford by delivering a minimum of 3,000 middle-income housing units over the next 5 years. The developer says that investors have found that investing in affordable housing is proving a steady stream of income in the form of rental payments. Mivida Homes says that as the demand for affordable housing continues to grow, so does the demand for rental properties, making this a promising investment opportunity. And the NCBA Bank, through its Citizenship Education Sponsorship Program, has issued scholarships to bright and needy children worth 2.6 million shillings. Under the NCBA Youth Education and Enterprise Citizenship Pillar, the program has enrolled over 300 students in primary, secondary and tertiary institutions. The scholarship covers tuition fees, textbooks, uniforms and dormitory supplies. Speaking at the check handover ceremony, NCBA Group Managing Director John Gashora mentioned that NCBA has been committed to promoting education by providing scholarships to academically talented and underprivileged students. For the past 16 years, NCBA has invested over 100 million shillings in the scholarship program with the aim of providing continuous education to underprivileged and bright students from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Indeed, it's something we shall continue doing. We strongly believe in the future of education. We strongly believe in the future of our children. It's our duty to invest in that future. And so this is something that we're committed to and something that we shall continue to do going forward. We have identified these 6 foundations as being the ones most aligned to our values and the fact that they have proven, we have seen what they do and we've seen the children that they support. Beyond just financial support, these institutions or these foundations also offer mentorship, which is something NCBA is passionate about. As NCBA, our own staff do offer mentorship in various schools.
And in sports, lack of adequate training time and sponsorship for beach volleyball is to blame for the poor standards of the game in Kenya. Officials and players of beach volleyball are now calling upon stakeholders and the government to come in and help in the growth of this sport. This comes as the National Beach Volleyball Tournament tipped off at the Big Tree Beach Hotel in Mombasa. Kenya national team players for the beach volleyball team, Gaudensia Makoka and Naomi To, are present, displaying an impressive performance. Makoha says with adequate training, more young ladies will be able to excel in volleyball and called for government support.
My call to the government is all about support. Wanaangalia tukienda competition, they want the results, but they're not supporting us. So how you can bring a team in camp for 1 week and you expect them to play with those guys who've been training like all their life, they have been playing on the beach. So it's all the support. If they want good results, they give us support. And it's not about just bringing us in camp. Financial support, going to play tours around the world, that's where the impact will come from.
Tuko na timu 23 kwa upande ya wanaume, tuko na timu 13 kwa upande wa wanadada. Lengo letu aswa kamili ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba watu Kenya wamejua beach volleyball ni nini. Hiyo ni mara ya kwanza. Ya pili, tuko na mpango ambao mnaelewa vizuri sana. Tuliweza kwa mara ya kwanza kupeleka timu ya beach volleyball kule Olympics ya Japan mwaka 2021. Hivi sasa tuko na michezo ya Olimpiki ya Paris mwaka wa 2024. Kwa hivyo mipangilio yetu aswa sana kwa hii national tour ni kupangia timu, kuchagua wachezaji ambao wataenda kuwakilisha Afrika. Sisi tunataka tuchague Kenya ndiposa tuende tushinde pale Afrika, lakini tunataka tuende mara ya pili pale Olympics.
Mombasa County has pledged to build new sporting facilities and renovate the existing ones for development of sports. County Chief Executive in charge of lands, Mohamed Hussein, said the move is aimed at promoting sporting activities at the grassroots level and provide young people a platform to nurture their talents. Speaking during the launch of a local league dubbed Shahabal Super Cup at Serani grounds in Vita Sub-County, Hussein said the county government will embark on a protracted campaign to repossess all grabbed public utilities, including community football grounds. He said once the grabbed sports facilities are repossessed, they are meant for the construction of more sporting facilities and other social amenities.
Sisi kama county government tutahakikisha every new scheme inayokuja tuweke public utilities mahali viwanja watoto waweze kucheza, maana najua vingi vimenyakuliwa. Tutajaribu kurejesha vile vimenyakuliwa, lakini scheme mpya zinazokuja tutahakikisha tumeweka places za viwanja ili watu waweze kucheza, na tutashirikiana na Wizara ya Michezo ili tuweze kuendeleza vipaji vyetu.
Na tumeongea na viongozi, tumeongea na governor, mwakilishi wa governor yuko hapa, Mheshimiwa Mohamed Machele yuko hapa. Sote tutafanya bidii kuhakikisha tunaanzisha football academy hapo Mombasa ili mpira upate kuendelea na Mombasa ipate hadhi yake iliyokuwa nayo kutoka zamani ambayo Mombasa ilikuwa ikiongoza.
And Napoli return to Champions League action tonight when they visit last year's Europa League winners Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany, while the Serie A leaders cruised through to the last 16 by winning their first 5 matches. Their hosts fought back on Group D's final day to snatch second spot. The pair now contest the first leg of a tie which decides who will reach the quarterfinals. Elsewhere, familiar foes Liverpool and Real Madrid serve up a repeat of the 2021-2022 Champions League final when they renew hostilities at the Anfield. Jurgen Klopp's crop played second in Group A behind Italian powerhouses Napoli to set up a reunion with the holders who beat Celtic, Shakhtar Donetsk and RB Leipzig to first place in Group F. And that's all we had for you on News Watch tonight. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Jenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Have a good night.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and StarTimes Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.